Most people making AI films skip this one step that makes AI videos real, and today I'm going to show you exactly what that step is. If you have been watching AI films and wondering how those videos look that realistic, how the characters stay consistent from scene to scene, and how the environment feels so grounded and detailed, this tutorial is going to answer all of that for you. A lot of people jump straight into video generation without understanding the foundation that makes it all work. And that missing foundation is exactly why their results look inconsistent or just not quite right. Today, I am going to walk you through that foundation step by step. In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to generate hyper-realistic AI videos using OpenArt. This is a critical step in AI filmmaking, and if you are just getting started, this is honestly the best place to begin, because once you understand this workflow, it opens your eyes to how everything else connects. We are going to cover 4 steps: character creation, scene creation, start frame generation, and finally, video generation. Let us get into it. Now, the platform I am using throughout this entire tutorial is OpenArt, openart.ai. It is a generative AI platform, and right now it is one of the best options available for generating AI video content. It is affordable, it is packed with the tools you actually need, and as you see, it handles the whole pipeline from image to final video really well. So, the first step in generating your hyper-realistic AI video is what I call character creation. This is where everything begins. In AI filmmaking, you need a defined character, and having that character properly built is what gives you consistency and detail across every shot you generate. Without this step, your characters will look different from scene to scene, and that breaks the realism immediately. So inside OpenArt, we are going to start by creating an image. Now for the model, make sure you select Nanobanana 2. You can also use Nanobanana Pro or other available models. But for this tutorial, I am using Nanobanana 2 specifically because it is currently the best model for generating those hyper-realistic images that you will later bring into your videos. So make sure that model is selected before you do anything else. From there, you generate your reference sheet. If you have seen my other tutorials, I talked about the character Bible, and this is basically that same idea. You write your prompt, generate a set of images, and then choose the one that best represents the character you have in mind. That chosen image becomes your base character, and everything else builds from it. Now, still inside character creation, the next thing you want to do is actually build that character inside OpenArt's dedicated character tool. To get there, go to the Tools section and click on Character and World. Here you will see any characters you have already created, and you can also create new ones. There are 3 ways to do this. The first way is to start from an image. You take the grid image you already generated, upload it, give the character a name, and OpenArt builds the character from that. The second way is to describe the character. You write a description, choose a model, and it generates the character from your text. And the third way is the character builder, which is a newer feature where you manually select things like fashion, style, gender, ethnicity, and age, then generate from those settings. So you have options depending on how you prefer to work. Once your character is built, it will live inside your character and world library, ready to be referenced at any point during generation. That reference system is what keeps your character consistent throughout your entire film. We will come back to exactly how that referencing works when we get to video generation, and it is one of the most important parts of this whole process. So now moving into the second step, which is scene creation. After you have your character, you need to create the environment, the space where your character is going to appear. I refer to this as your environment reference image, and if you have seen my AI filmmaking prompt list, you will recognize this concept from there. To do this, you stay inside the character and words section, but this time you select background instead of character. Then you click create background, upload the image you want to use as your scene, and give it a name. I have already done this for one of my current projects. I named one scene Private Residence, and as you can see, it gives the whole shot a very clear, consistent visual identity. Now, if you also have objects that need to stay consistent, say a specific gun, a cup, or any prop that appears multiple times, you can do the same thing for objects. Just toggle on the object option, upload an image of that object, name it, and it gets added to your library. Basically, anything that needs to stay visually consistent across your scenes can be stored and referenced this way. That is the core idea behind scene creation. You are building a reference library that keeps your whole film coherent from one shot to the next. So the third step is start frame generation. Now this step is optional and I want to explain why, because understanding this will affect how you approach your entire video generation workflow. There are two ways to generate AI video. You can use image to video or you can use text to video. With image to video, you need a start frame, basically an initial image that the AI will animate. With text to video, you describe the shot in words and the AI generates it without needing that starting image. Now, on most cases, AI filmmakers use image to video, but with recent model updates, models like Kling 3 Omni text to video has become good enough that you can achieve that same level of realism without a start frame. So, knowing both approaches matters. But for now, let us talk about generating your start frame. To do this, go back to create image and make sure Nanobanana 2 is still your selected model. Now here is where your character and word library becomes important for the first time. You are going to add visual references, click on character and word and select the characters and the environment you have already built. So for example, I can select my character and then add my background scene, and now when I generate, the image will place that specific character inside that specific environment. That is the whole point of building those references first. Once the image generates, you will have a few options available to you. You can recreate it, upscale it, convert it directly to video, use it as a reference, create a variation, or change the camera angle. And that last one, change camera angle, is a really cool feature worth knowing about. You can rotate the camera direction left or right, generate a wide angle shot, a close-up, or create multiple angles from that single image. So basically, from one generated start frame, you can produce a whole range of shots at different angles without having to reprompt everything from scratch. That kind of control is what helps your film feel cinematic rather than randomly assembled. Once you have the start frame you are happy with, the next step is converting it into actual video, and that is exactly what we are covering now. So step 4 is video generation. And I want to show you two ways to do this, because which method you use will depend on the model you choose, and that choice matters more than most people realize. The first method is image to video, which basically means you are taking your start frame and animating it. Inside OpenArt, you attach your start frame and then select your model. Now here is something important to understand. Some AI video models allow you to reference your characters directly during generation, and some do not. For example, if you switch to a model like Veo 3.1, you cannot attach character references. You are working with the start frame only. But if you switch to a model like Kling 3, even after attaching the start frame, you can still reference your characters from your character and word library, and that is what gives you that high level of character consistency throughout the video. So the workflow with Kling 3 looks like this. You attach your start frame, then you click add character and word and select the characters you want to appear in that shot. Once they are added, you write your prompt, and wherever you want to reference a specific character, you use the @ symbol followed by their name. So if I type art and the character's name, it links directly to that character reference. You can do the same for objects. Then you generate, and what comes out maintains that visual consistency we have been building toward from the very beginning of this tutorial. We will wrap up the second generation method and bring everything together right after this. So the second way of generating video is text to video. The approach is almost the same, but instead of starting from an image, you are working purely from a written description. Now, if you switch to a model like Veo 3.1 here, you will notice that switching models clears your reference image, and with Veo 3.1 specifically, you cannot attach character references at all. So if character consistency and scene continuity are priorities for you, and they should be, make sure you are working with a model that actually supports referencing. That is one of those things you just have to know going in. So for text to video, I am using Kling 3 Omni. You can toggle on multi-shot if you want the AI to handle the shot composition itself. Then you add your characters and your scene from your character and word library, the same references we built back in steps 1 and 2. You reference the scene using the @ symbol, you mention your character inside your short prompt description, and then you generate. And what comes out is a video that holds that level of realism. We have been working toward this entire tutorial: consistent characters, consistent environments, consistent visual identity. Lastly, I want to bring this all together so the full picture is clear. Everything in this workflow connects. You start by generating a base character image using Nanobanana 2. You build that character inside OpenArt character and world library. You create your scene and store it as a background reference. You generate your start frame by combining those references. And then you animate either image to video or text to video using a model like Kling 3 that lets you carry those references all the way through to the final output. That is how you get hyper-realistic AI videos with genuine character consistency and scene continuity. Not by chance, by building the right foundation from the start. If you are not on OpenArt yet, the link is in the description, go check it out. And if this video helped you, do me a favor and like it, share it with someone who is getting into AI filmmaking, and drop any questions in the comments. I am here and I will answer everything. See you in the next one.